So, you want to learn some weird internet history?
I bet.
All right, my homie, do you know what the hell Gaia Online was?
I hear the words, they strike familiarity. Oh, God. What am I about to watch, dude? What am I about to see?
If you had internet access and even the tiniest, most fleeting interest in anime at any point during the 2000s, then odds are you had an account on Gaia Online at some point. In the late 2000s, this...
Did you have an account? Be honest.
Yes, I did.
Really? How did that go?
I wasn't on it too often because, while Gaia Online was still a poppin' website, I had very limited internet access.
See, your parents loved you. Gotcha.
Sure, we'll put it that way.
Oh, God.
What I can only describe as anime-flavored social media platform had hundreds of thousands of users logging in on a daily basis. And the crown jewel of Gaia was its forums, which were second only to Yahoo in terms of their popularity, and I know that doesn't really sound like a big deal in 2019, but believe me, back then, that was huge. As a matter of fact, it was such a big deal that even Time ranked among
Yahoo
the 50
answers,
best
dude.
websites.
Right.
But in 2019, it's, oh god, how can I put this politely? On a good day, Gaia looks like a ghost town, but on a bad day, it's a case study for economists and public relations students who want to see what a train
What?
Like, legit, no joke. Things went so off the rails on Gaia that it's even mentioned in a textbook by the MIT press. So, what happened to this anime-centric social media platform from yesteryear?
Put it in the ground, please.
Being listed in Time's top 50 websites to being a literal
still live.
Example of an economy that's lost control. Let me
pulling his cock out.
All about it.
Oh my god, this is about to be a mess.
Yeah.
The rise and fall of Gaia Online.
That we now know as Gaia Online was launched back in 2003. A group of roommates wanted to make an online community hub for anime fans, and so Go Gaia was born. But within only a couple of years, their little anime community hub would be a really big award-winning website, and in 2004 it would be renamed Gaia Online. The way Gaia worked is like this. You make an account and you have a customizable avatar. To get new items to customize your avatar, you need to buy them in the shops in the user-run marketplace with the site's currency called Gaia Gold. To get Gaia Gold, you would do things like play games, post in the forums, exploring towns, and as you may have noticed, all of these things don't just generate gold, but also social interactions. So, yeah, it's a pretty simple formula Gaia had going on. Simple, but effective.
Right.
And there were other things you could do on Gaia too, of course. You know, there were things like customizable cars and aquariums, there were guilds, and perhaps the most well-known other feature that Gaia had was an MMO called ZOMG. And as some of you may recall, Gaia was actually one of a small handful of avatar-based social networks and games that came out in the early 2000s. As a matter,
you know, I think this was a time that deserves to be forgotten, maybe.
Yeah?
What was the main one? The one that sociopaths used? Second Life, I think? No, Second Life. Second Life, because I didn't have any of these, but from what I've heard, people who have investigated Second Life, there's some scary people on there.
Both that and IMVU.
Oh god. Thankfully, I've never heard of that one. Maybe that's for the best.
That one was also popping at the time. I think it also might still exist, but I could be wrong on that one.
Alrighty.
Matter of fact, Second Life and IMVU both came out within a year of Gaia. So then, what did Gaia have that they didn't? What set Gaia apart from its competition? Two things. Forums and anime.
Yep. Hold up. In a world where teens are constantly branding and packaging themselves, Gaia is where you get away from it all. Craig Sherman, former CEO of Oh my goodness.
When Go Gaia was founded back in 2003, anime in the Western world was experiencing a massive boom in popularity. Things like Toonami, Pokemon, Sailor
Renaissance
Moon,
of anime.
That was finally getting released in English. It was all creating more English-speaking anime fans than there had ever been before.
Let's put an asterisk there, because if you were an anime fan in this time,
online where they could just
you were bullied
relentlessly.
I like to think of them as glory days. Every Renaissance had its problems. The Renaissance had the plague, you know? We had our share of the plague. You know, we had the bullying and the and the bad animes, but we have the good ones too. But
and nowadays, I work in childcare and see 4-year-olds walking in with Naruto t-shirts for picture day. So, what a time to live in.
God.
About anime with their fellow fans. And so Go Gaia was born with the intent to fill that void with anime-related resources, links, forums, and role-playing with these fun little avatars that you could dress up like anime characters or your OCs.
Oh, yeah.
And there was nothing quite like this on the internet at the time. It was honestly pretty impressive. But of course, having a cool new site like Gaia around does zero good if nobody else knows about it. So how did Gaia's founders get the word out? Well,
how indeed.
They honestly didn't do a whole lot to advertise the site in its early days, or to be more specific, they didn't need to because the site got a lot of growth a lot faster than any of its founders ever anticipated. But either way, let me tell you real quick about Gaia's impressively bare-bones advertising, because honestly, it's nothing short of a miracle that this worked out as well as it did. So get this. 4 months after their launch, they gave away postcards at 2 anime conventions. Then they put an ad in a comic book. And then...
Damn, that's it?
Oh, wait, that's it. That's
it?
Yeah, that's it. The rest of the site's growth came completely from word-of-mouth advertising.
Oh my god.
I don't doubt that advertising directly to their target audience at a couple of anime conventions was pretty effective, but I don't think it would have been effective enough to get Gaia the growth it got. Or, at the very least, not by itself.
Them showing these conventions is triggering me.
Yeah.
It's unlocking dark memories.
So help me God. The stench. The stench.
Oh, but more, were you there for the age of the yaoi paddles at conventions and glomping?
Oh my, no. So I saw the fucking glomping. I saw fucking just teenagers and adults tackling each other, bro. Literally tackling. Now, what the fuck is a yaoi paddle? What the hell is that?
We'll pull up that video after you have the aux cord for a turn.
Christ.
Whoever was preaching the good word of Go Gaia back in those first few months was probably doing a better job of marketing the site than Gaia's founders were, in all honesty. Like, for real, word-of-mouth advertising is honestly one of the hardest and most unreliable forms of advertising to effectively utilize, because you basically have no control over it. But of course,
they still made it.
Well, it works incredibly well, and for Gaia, it worked out a lot better than they ever could have imagined, which I think speaks volumes about how much its earliest users loved the site. In fact, one of the site's founders, Derek Liu, once said in an interview, quote, "We never anticipated big growth. We only knew that the community would be a lot of fun, and our goal had been to make the forum as entertaining as possible." It's in that same interview that he talks about the transition Gaia was making in 2004 to be less of an anime link list and more of an anime-flavored social gaming and networking site. So, in other words, the site's social aspects like the forums and the avatars were now going to take center stage. To that end, they'd rename the site Gaia Online, and they'd totally revamp it with new features like guilds and friends lists. To quote Liu from the same interview, "Currently all our ideas revolve around role-playing. Gaia will be as much of a game as it is a forum." And of course, the changes to the site were all very well received. By 2007, Gaia was a full-fledged social networking and gaming site, and getting more than 300,000 unique daily logins on a daily basis.
Okay, for 2007, that's fucking big. That's huge. The number of Gaia Gold what is a Gaia Gold millionaire? What is that?
That means somebody who has been on the site long enough to have at least 1 million Gaia Gold.
Oh, so a no life. Gotcha.
Yeah, neat.
All right, so let's see. So 300k logins, according to the company. The average unique visit is about 2 hours a day. The average concurrence, 64k. The max is 86. 85% US. 10% are English speaking, but non-US, with 5 of a nebulous other. The breakdown in the gender breakdown is almost even. That's insane. It's not even mostly women or men. This is insane. This is crazy. 20% of subscribers put their real life photo in their avatar.
days. And as if that wasn't enough, the average visit to Gaia lasted about 2 hours, and there was an average of 64,000 users on it any given time of day. In fact, Gaia's user base was getting so massive that it became one of the first sites to integrate what we would now call social media marketing. Gaia hosted official campaigns for things like Alice in Wonderland, Skittles, and perhaps most infamously, yes, there was an official campaign to promote Bee Movie. And what makes this...
You like jazz?
All the more impressive is that these campaigns were actually super successful, way more so than similar campaigns on Gaia's competitors. But of course, all this is to say that during the 2000s, Gaia was considered a very major platform. Its users knew it, marketers knew it, other social media platforms and games knew it, and then when Time ranked it in the 50 best websites in 2008, the world knew it. This was, by all means,
I can't
the
believe
golden
my eyes.
age of Gaia. But of course, alas, not all that glitters is Gaia gold, and behind the scenes of Gaia's golden age, the groundwork was being laid for an economic crisis so bad that, and I cannot stress this enough, it would land this site with equipable yaoi paddles and Naruto headbands into an MIT Press textbook on economics.
What did I just hear and look at? I gotta go back real quick. View opposite gender, allow ghosting. Naruto
headbands into an MIT Press textbook on economics.
Not the fucking glomp me sign.
The prelude to the fall of Gaia. We all have big plans for Gaia, economy included, and experimenting with new products is something we have to do. SAR, gold, Gaia economy. What the fuck?
To fully grasp just how awful the economy in Gaia would eventually become, first we need to understand Gaia's relationship with real-life money. The first encounter Gaia's economy had with real-life money would have been in the site's infancy in June of 2003. Do you remember what I told you earlier about how in Gaia's early days its user base was getting super huge super fast?
Yep.
Well, believe me, that didn't come without a literal price, namely that it was getting more expensive to upkeep the servers and other maintenance costs. And since this was just all happening so fast, Gaia had no choice but to turn to its users for help by asking them for donations. And ultimately it all worked out, of course. The site was maintained, and the users who donated were thanked with a new and super exclusive item called the Angelic Halo. And it's worth noting that at the time, they had no idea that they would be thanked with an item, let alone a new and exclusive one. The Angelic Halo was a surprise thank you gift from Gaia to its donors, and it was given after the donations.
Is that a average market price of $6 billion?
No. It's 6 billion Gaia gold.
Oh, okay. God, that was scary for a second.
6 billion internet monies.
Indeed.
Had already been accepted. So what this means is, if you wanted an Angelic Halo, but
you had to give them money,
then the only other way to get one was by buying it from someone who did donate through the site's marketplace. And since Angelic Halos were so exclusive, their price got pretty high pretty fast.
Oh my god, what the fuck? Damn, they're getting scammed out here.
Right?
Oh my goodness.
Keep a pin in that for now, and let's talk about the next encounter Gaia had with real-life money.
That's about to crash the economy right there.
Gaia established the financial system that would help keep them afloat for the next couple of years. They started selling monthly collectibles. Actually, fun fact, up until October of 2006, they were called donation items, but they changed the name to monthly collectibles because it caused some confusion that Gaia was a charity, which, of course, it isn't. But back to the topic at hand, in July of 2003, the new collectible items were the panda and grizzly hats, and this time, users knew that they could get the items by donating, and thus, one of Gaia's longest-lasting income sources was born. The way it worked was, every month from that point onward, or at the very least until March of 2017 when they would get rebranded, Gaia would come out with some cool collectible items that you could only get in these envelopes. And the only way to get an envelope, outside of hoping that someone put one on the marketplace, was by paying $2.50 for them. And by $2.50, I actually mean $2.50. You could send the payment via PayPal, via your old flip phone, or you could even snail mail them the $2.50 because, you know, the early 2000s. And of course, just like the Angelic Halo, prices for these monthly collectibles tended to get pretty high pretty fast after they were cycled out, since you could only buy them through Gaia during the month that they came out.
Okay, so I'm familiar with the scam of fucking internet currency marketplaces.
Mm-hmm.
My friend had a horrendous addiction to the hit game of 2018, PUBG.
Not PUBG.
Yeah, Xbox kids have mental illnesses. Let's just say that.
Right.
So she was really into PUBG, and I sacrifice my own well-being for the people that I care about. So I do things that I would normally do. So I played PUBG, and they had loot boxes. Now, let me see if I can get what it is to show you. So I'm gonna type in the PUBG Rose shirt, see if I can find it. PUBG game Rose shirt. It was a different time. It's gone. But basically, there was... Oh, here it is right here. This fucking shirt, the floral shirt.
Uh-huh.
I got this shirt from a loot box. This shirt was really, really rare.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Steam has a marketplace. So I went to the Steam marketplace because my friend was like, hey, you should sell that shirt in the Steam marketplace, because in the Steam marketplace you can buy fake video game digital items for real fucking money that go to people. And I see the asking price for this. People want this shirt because it's a nice shirt. People want to pay hundreds of dollars for this shirt, hundreds of real dollars for the shirt. But I was like, I don't want to do all that. It's my shirt. It looks cool.
Right.
But if people are willing to spend $300 on a digital shirt for a first person game, you cannot see yourself in the shirt.
I don't understand.
Imagine the amount of money that people will pay, the amount of not real money people will pay for not real items. It's crazy insanity. So I can already tell that this is gonna go down in fucking flames.
You know, this honestly wasn't necessarily the thing that caused this site to go down in flames. You'll see.
Also, chat, y'all are cooked, because I think we both like video essays. I already have video essays on the right. Look at this one: a loser man's perfect game and all to girl for a scoof. I'm putting that on the save to watch later, so we can see that at some point.
Right.
All right, back to the hell.
We're both video essay girlies.
Back to the hell.
After that, your only hope to get them was through the site's marketplace, and the marketplace, I'd like to remind you, had prices that were completely
$17K, $34K for a panda backpack.
Economics to understand the basic principle of supply and demand. Yep. By 2007, it was pretty much impossible for your...
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
No.
The ninja headband is $957K. What?
Let's also remember this is 2008.
Oh my god.
So the peak of like fucking Naruto girlies.
I don't know if a YouTuber is gonna tell us, but I need to know the conversion rate for the money. Can something tell me? Gaia
for the Gaia money, because
just how much money do you get, like a second or something like that?
Oh, that I have no fucking clue. Because you can't just leave the website running in the background and just give you money. You have to be active on the website.
Okay, someone has it right here. So,
there you go.
Let's see.
Oh, so this is Gaia Platinum. This is not the same currency that she is speaking of currently.
Well, fuck. All right. Jesus. But it seems like you get the money through talking, so that's a lot of grinding you gotta do for fucking millions, probably like days, years, months, probably.
Average user to obtain the older monthly collectible items because their prices were just getting absurdly high. Unless you were particularly lucky or active, the site's typical gold gathering methods like posting in the forums, playing games.
I hate myself. Why did I do this? If I literally just shut my mouth and waited 10 seconds, she would have told me.
Right.
I do this shit all the time.
It happens, bro.
games and visiting towns and all that could only net you 1, maybe 2,000 gold a day. Now, more recent monthly collectibles, these were a little more obtainable. They were usually sold for a couple of tenths.
All right, kids, it's time for the calculator. So you get... I'm pulling up the calculator. So if you get 1 to 2,000 a day, we'll just say like 1,000. So yeah, it was like 957,000. So we'll just do 957,000. And if you get that a day, then that, what the fuck? So that's 957 days as seen right here. So almost two point something years to get a Naruto headband, and that's you doing it daily.
Yeah.
What? Nope, they're done. They're killed. They're murdered.
Right. Whoever wants that Naruto headband.
But then there's the older monthly collectibles like the angelic halo and the panda hat, and they would routinely be sold for hundreds of thousands and even millions of gold.
Oh my goodness.
It's around this same time that some users took to selling their Gaia items on eBay for real money rather than Gaia gold. Since eBay doesn't have an archive system, it's kind of hard to say just how frequently this was happening and how much money these sellers were making, but we do know at the very least that Gaia was more than aware of it. I mean, in early 2007, it'd be pretty hard for them not to be aware of it. After all, someone would have just sold an angelic halo for, drumroll please,
6 million.
$6,000 USD. Oh, this
is real money. Oh my god.
Real money.
This is real money now. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is how cooked we are as a fucking species.
Right.
The internet has made us fall so far into the fucking pit, the fucking taint of degeneracy, that we will pay $6,000 for a Halo in our forum chatting game. Oh my god, I'm about to freak out. Actually.
Does that sound like a big number? Well, guess what? I know a way of making it even bigger. If we adjust that for inflation, that's about $7,500 in 2018. In an article for, I'm honestly not sure how to pronounce this, I'm sorry, but in a 2007 article titled Move Over MySpace, Gaia Online is here, Sherman would say about this transaction, wonderful to tell you, but bad for what we're trying to accomplish. Gaia knew something had to be done. And sure enough, in July 2007, something was indeed done.
Did they change the money?
So cunning you could put a tail on it and call it a weasel.
Did they change the currency?
A new form of currency called
Don't
Gaia
do this.
Cash.
No,
you could get it by spending real gold money, and you could use it to buy items like...
Oh my god, this is a horror story now. They just keep digging and digging the hole, and they just keep making it worse. They should understand they will go to no length for their digital items. Why would they do this?
Like that month's collectible envelopes, evolving items, and a couple other good miscellaneous items from the brand new cash shop. Now, the good news is Gaia seemed to immediately realize the danger they could be putting their economy in by introducing a new and much more obtainable form of currency like this. Only a month after Gaia Cash was implemented, Gaia hired 2 economists to help keep the site's economy in check and prevent inflation. And this actually worked out pretty well. They introduced taxes into the marketplace, and they were actually able to successfully fight off inflation, or at least for now. Despite Gaia's...
They have real life people with PhDs, with doctorates in economy, trying to min-max the game so that the marketplace won't kill itself.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Efforts, Gaia Cash did still have one fatal flaw.
They were making the money to be able to afford this.
Oh my, bro, they were trying to balance it.
Marketplace. That was still Gaia Gold only, and this would end up causing Gaia a lot of economic problems down the road. But before I tell you about how Gaia addressed these problems, let's go ahead and take a look at what was happening behind the scenes. From 2006 to 2010, Craig Sherman was the site's CEO, and as we've seen, Sherman always seemed really cautious in dealing with Gaia's economy. And because of that, Gaia's economy actually remained pretty stable for a while. But then in 2009, a new problem was starting to make itself known on Gaia. Gaia, and that was a declining active user base.
I guess people got bored.
The new decade was kind of a weird time for Gaia, because on one hand, they were making upwards of $1 million a month thanks to the installation of Gaia Cash. But then, on the other hand, for the first time in the site's life, they're starting to see a noticeable decline in its active user base. There's no single big reason why this decline was happening. It was more like a salad of small and medium reasons, like the site's novelty wearing off on its aging user base, new competitors like Facebook and Tumblr gaining relevance, frustration with Gaia Cache, few to no updates on the site's unique features, you know, stuff like that. It was just
in memoriam, dude. Can we get F's in chat for Gaia Online? They fell to the passage of time, because as most things, people will get bored after just being on it for a while. It might take a long time.
Kicks in.
It takes a long time sometimes. It might take a couple years, but they will get bored. Especially with the rise of Facebook and Tumblr. Oh my god, Tumblr definitely, they put that shit in the morgue, bro, in the morgue. Tumblr 2008, oof.
Ooh.
It's all starting to pile up. But the bottom line here is that in 2009, interest in Gaia was starting to go down.
Oh my god, the ghost town.
This wasn't just dangerous for site management, but also for Gaia's economy. Let me paint you a picture. If you decide that you want to stop using Gaia, but you have a rare item, maybe even multiple rare items, one of two things is going to happen. Either you don't give it away and it lessens the amount of something that's already in short supply, or alternatively, you host a giveaway for your items. And enough leaving users chose option 2 in the early 2010s that it started to cause mild but manageable inflation. All you really need to know is that around this time, inflation is starting to...
Hold on, let me see it. Okay. The emo bag, in 2007, it was 3K. Then it went up to 35. Oh my god.
To 350K.
270K, and then 700... What the fuck? Old crumpled newspaper 20? What? I see the issue here.
Manageable inflation. All you really need to know is that around this time, inflation is starting to creep into the Gaian economy again. But of course, the site's economy had been kept pretty stable for a while now, so Gaia's higher-ups were more preoccupied with figuring out why people were leaving and how they could get them to stay. And ultimately, Gary Schofield was made the new CEO in March of 2013. This was effectively the beginning of the end for Gaia.
Damn. Oh no. The fall of Gaia. Flynn's booty is not predicted to have any long-term negative effect on the economy. Gaia's second before Flynn's booty destroyed Gaia's... What the fuck is Flynn's booty?
It all will be explained. Also, chat, don't mind me, I'm having a little snacky.
About what kind of a CEO someone's gonna be based on their first major action with the new title. So, what was the first major thing Schofield did once he was sitting on Gaia's big boy chair?
He destroyed it.
Something to help incentivize old users to come back, promoting new signups, or hey, maybe something to help the site's economy before that manageable inflation becomes unmanageable.
I know what happened. It happens every time there's a new management. They come and they hit you with there's gonna be some changes around here. And then they proceed to make the worst fucking decisions that you have ever seen in your life. It always happens. It always happens. And then when everything falls and people start burning buildings and running out, they're like, well, I don't know what happened. Where did we go wrong?
No, he fired more than 20 of Gaia's best staff members, and in response...
What? Oh my god, he did... Bro did the Elon Musk. That's exactly what Elon Musk did. As soon as... I'm telling you, it just happens. These big shots, they come in, they're like, there's gonna be some changes around here. First of all, we don't need all these people. Get the fuck out. And then they remove about a fourth of the staff for literally no reason, because that's just what they think they're supposed to do. They think if they come in, fire people, make everybody scared and fearful of their future and their finances, that they'll just fall in line. That's not how it goes.
No, that's not how that goes.
since many of its remaining staff members resigned. A lot of them would end up leaving scathing reviews of their employment at Gaia, and I'm telling you this because a lot of these reviews are
not
really
Indeed and Glassdoor.
the problems that were about to start plaguing Gaia, which I think just goes to prove how apparent it was even from this early on that Gaia would be having a lot of problems under its new management. Like, seriously, listen to this one.
It used to be great, but new execs are destroying culture and morale. New executives seem disingenuous, patronizing, and disconnected. Employee benefits and privileges are slowly being stripped away. Morale is currently at an all-time low. We are losing valued coworkers weekly.
What did I say? What did I say? It's just what happens.
It's what happens.
People already don't like change. Human beings are very adverse to it. So when it's right in your face, in your place of business, and affecting you in real time, everyone's gonna hate it.
Right.
So, now that Schofield's already made himself super disliked by Gaia's employees, what's his next course of action? Simple. Making himself super disliked by Gaia's user base. The first thing he did to supposedly help Gaia's economy was introducing personalized sales into Gaia. The idea was that through private messaging, Gaia users would get access to sales that were tailored to their interests, and this sounds fine on paper, right? Well, in practice, it consisted of Gaia users getting the same 3 messages every day, nagging them to buy Gaia.
Oh my god.
Gaia users got so annoyed by this that they
started
tried
e-begging
the admin account that was sending them for spam, and the site...
Speaking of e-begging, Chad, drop some subs for either me or my best pal, Lady Seth.
Feedback forum was full of complaints
don't shill for me, shill for yourself.
As a matter of fact, there's a massive sticky thread about this that survives, and it has almost 400 pages worth of replies where users do nothing but talk about how annoyed they are by it. So,
I'm exposing more to cursed internet history.
Yeah, it hurts, kinda. We were doing so fine at the first half. You know, I was rooting for them. They were balancing the economy. They were trying to appease the whales, but also, you know, make sure that people who don't want a whale can exist. And then everything changed when the new CEO attacked.
Unpopular. On June 23rd, after only 5 days of conducting these sales, they were totally discontinued. And as many took note of, although they were definitely being discontinued due to the large volume of complaints, the announcement saying that they were going away is noticeably absent of any mention of the criticism it received. Interesting. But gee whiz, if Gaia can't...
Chad, not you knowing what Gaia Online is. Chad, no. Oh my god.
Send a constant stream of personal messages to its users to buy Gaia Cash, then good golly, how is it ever gonna nag them to buy Gaia Cash? If only there was some kind of announcement system it could abuse. Oh wait! On June 28th, Gaia hosted a summer sale for cash items, one that sold the angelic halo for the equivalent of $1,000, which is, of course, a horrible thing to do for a long list of reasons.
Absolutely.
But I'm telling you about this because up until this point,
I don't know what the House Bunny movie. I don't know what that is. I'm kind of scared of it. The trailer would play, but it would buffer like shit, so it was terrible. Oh my goodness.
Gaia had never sent more than one site-wide announcement per day, but from this point forward,
so here's your certificate of geriatric internet user.
On a daily basis, and when you have an unread announcement, the notification sticks until you read it. And before this, announcements were generally, well, proper announcements. You know, sometimes they would be about sales, but sometimes they would be about new items, new additions to the site, changes that were being made, you know, stuff like that. But now, important announcements were getting buried by sales and
Thank you, my backers, when I wake up, meet you, bro.
Buried, I really do mean buried. There's a thread from June of 2014 that counted more than 3,000 announcements relating to Gaia Cash in only 11 months. That is absurd! The way Gaia's new management wanted to run the site wasn't just abundant.
I was around before the Habbo money crisis. Is that what it's actually called? Are there just Great Depressions in Gaia Online? Is that what I'm hearing right now?
clear, but it was even being spammed to its users multiple times a day. And as though to prove that, Gaia was about to release its most dangerous item as a cash exclusive. It's the item that's responsible for propelling Gaia's economy from inflation to hyperinflation, and it's an item called Flynn's booty. So what is it? What does it do? What makes this so awful? Well, it's a gold generator. You'd buy it for 99 Gaia cash, and then it would spit gold right back out at you.
Why did they do this? Why did they do this? They literally implemented counterfeit into that would destroy any economy. Counterfeit literally destroys real world society economy. I'm actually losing my mind. This is insane. What are we watching? The fall of Gaia Online.
Yeah, I'm exposing more to internet history that he had no idea about.
I'm watching a video on the life and death, the birth, life, and death, and the memoriam, apparently, of Gaia Online. The Gaia coin became the Gaia yen. Real. Oh my god.
What you'd get was random,
I thought Bitcoin was convoluted.
Shortly after the item came out, that documents that users were getting anywhere from 50,000 to 10 million gold. Oh,
what?
By the way, is now a good time to remind you that 99 Gaia cash was equal to $1, one singular US dollar, and that one of the most common ways of getting Gaia cash was by buying it on gift cards for $10 and $25 at a time? Yeah, that might be worth mentioning. Now, Flynn's booty wasn't the first time Gaia had brought a gold generating item onto the site, and unfortunately, it wouldn't be the last either. In fact, it'd be quite the opposite. It's after the release of Flynn's booty that Gaia started to release new gold generators regularly. But what made this one in particular so different? Or more specifically, what made Flynn's booty so economically dangerous? Well, before Flynn's booty, the only other gold generators that came out were in 2008. There were 3 of them. They were called the Bag of Win, Bag of Win 2, and Gold Revolution Wheel. Right off the bat, what sets these apart from Flynn's booty is that they're not just gold generators. In the Bag of Win, there was a chance that you'd get an item instead, but even if you did get a lot of gold out of either of these, or if you picked the gold wheel, 1, their maximum gold output was nowhere near the output of Flynn's booty, and 2, they were being cautiously released into a much safer economy than 2013's Gaia. But 2008 staff at the time still knew that if they didn't pull the plug on these items quick enough, that they could have dangerous repercussions for the site's economy. As a matter of fact, there's a journal entry by one of the site's economists at the time that goes into a lot more detail on this. So basically what I'm saying is 2008 Gaia released its gold generators as a very cautious economic experiment. They saw that they were dangerous, recorded why it was dangerous, and stopped making them. 2013 Gaia, on the other hand, feeling confident as ever, said in an FAQ promoting Flynn's booty that, quote, "It is not predicted to have any long-term negative effect on the economy."
Oh my fucking god, why would they do this? And then they double down. They literally double down. They're like, it's not gonna ruin the economy, it's just a money printer. When has a money printer ever ruined the economy? Right?
What a surprise. That's the distinct tang of a liar.
Flynn's booty's economic effect was literally immediate. There is a surviving graph that shows just how much gold was being spent in the Gaia marketplace per day since November of 2012 through September of 2013. And you might notice that the spot when Flynn's booty came out is marked. Not that it really needs to be, because the spikes are pretty apparent. According to a paper called The Gold Rush by Nicole Chan, it's thanks to the release of Flynn's booty and the other gold generators that were to regularly come out after it that marked—
Hold on, can I read the excerpt of this? I want to see the Gold Rush, a look into the rise and fall of Gaia Online. In the formative years of my pubescent youth, I stumbled upon a website called Gaia Online. The year was 2007, and my niche interest in all things Japanese felt much less obscure within Gaia Online's expansive anime-based virtual world. The site gave me a place to be and a sense of purpose. At the peak of my 3-year addiction, I spent over 12 hours a day on— God damn! What? Oh my god.
This is just what Gaia users were doing during their summers.
Returning to the site after a 5-year hiatus, I intend to explore how user hierarchy is visible even without explicit site labels, but instead I found one of the thriving site ecosystems infected with plague, with the community in shambles and the economy in complete Jesus Christ. Look what they did. Look what they fucking did.
Look what they did.
Thanks to the release of Flynn's booty and the other gold generators that were to regularly come out after it, that marketplace gold revenue increased from 10 billion to 3 trillion in 5 months. And I know it's really tempting to think that those numbers sound absurd and hyperbolic, but the thing is that they're not. There's also a thread on Reddit that tracked how bad inflation on Gaia got around this time, and it shows that Red Ink, for example, had been worth 500 gold at the beginning of 2013.
All right.
In October, it was worth 1,400 gold. And then by March of 2014, it was 30,000 Gaia gold.
What?
In just that year, its price had gone up 150,000%. And it would still somehow get worse. By August of 2014, Red Ink would cost a staggering 25 million gold.
Jesus
In case
Christ.
my point hasn't gotten across yet, let me say it plainly. Gaia was now experiencing full-blown hyperinflation. Now, hyperinflation is pretty hard not to notice, you know, especially when you're using this site on a daily basis, and the site's users weren't happy about it at all. But what about Gaia's higher-ups? How are they feeling about this whole thing? Well, apparently...
Hold on, someone said that last one with their... You selfish assholes. MP is inflated to hell. Gold is worthless. Can't afford anything anymore. This site is only about money. You guys suck.
They said that with their whole chest.
Real Gaia user, real.
But what about Gaia's higher-ups? How are they feeling about this whole thing? Well, apparently pretty good, because in September, Gaia's then COO, Jason Loya, held a now infamous presentation on gamification where he encourages entrepreneurs to...
Wait, I know this. I've seen this. Is this the dude? Is this the man that did... Oh my fucking god. Oh my goodness. The humans in Labyrinth? Oh my god, I hate this dude. I hate this man. I have seen this very fucking presentation. This is insane.
Oh my god.
A bitter pill and tells them that the holy grail of gamification is
I hate everything.
And as bad as all this stuff already sounds on its own, when you put it into context with the economic problems Gaia was having at the time, which is really hard not to do, by the way, since one of the slides has an image of Flynn's booty, then it really paints a picture of someone who...
Yep. Evolution has wired us to hoard and gather collection theory, and then there's a rat with the fucking alcohol bottle.
And another one with a cigarette.
God. Digital native generation are gamers. He definitely saw the signs, but did he want to help them? Hell fucking no. Hell no.
Hey, Deanie, welcome in.
Are we winning? No. No. We're losing.
We're exposing more to cursed internet history that he knows nothing about.
It all makes sense now. This is why we get $25 skins in video games now, because of shit like this. The 10% of America saw the signs and they took it by the neck and they ran with it.
Yup.
And now we have gotcha games because China also found out. How much do you know about 4chan? Don't
do it.
Please, I don't want to know anything about 4chan. Scary people go on that website.
4chan is a very scary place. We're just talking about Gaia Online.
Honestly.
As a matter of fact, he seems to consider them, in his own words, lab rats.
You know what really matters to me? Booty.
Someone leaked the images of him giving the presentation in October, and it immediately blew up. Users were
fucking users use 4chan. You said that, not me.
There was a
I didn't say that.
Resignation and the discontinuation.
No, I'll agree with that. I'll say it with my fucking chest.
How did Gaia respond to this? On October 16th.
What the fuck is Gaia Online? I'll put the link I'll put the link in the chat. Go do your homework. I'm not watching this shit again.
Dee, to give you a brief synopsis, Gaia Online was a forum website for anime users in from 2008 to around 2010. It still exists.
Your name is crazy.
I'm sorry, what?
Your name is insane. This is now the best name I've seen. How much do you know about Chris Chan? I know about Chris Chan.
Thank you for the follow.
We don't talk about Chris Chan.
We don't talk about Chris Chan.
See, bro, this be your chat at all times, dude. Call me Milky. Daddy was my father's name. Real.
I said Milky. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Starlight family. I hope you like turn-based RPGs because that's the majority of what we do around here. So whether you're like Persona, Final Fantasy, Pokemon, or Shin Megami Tensei, we play those here every week.
Or Gaia Online.
If you want to drop chat, do I start doing Gaia Online streams?
Don't.
Do we walk through this ghost town together?
Hold on, that might actually be good content. Right, we both just make Gaia Online accounts. We see if we can find a human.
Right.
Oh my god. Jesus.
But if you want to follow me, might I also suggest following my co-host here, Mr. Evermore Radio.
What?
He does reaction content to video game things. I like watching him and collabing with him.
Absolutely. Adventure Quest content. What the fuck is Adventure Quest?
What the fuck is Adventure Quest?
You're saying, hold on, I'm looking it up on my second monitor just in case.
Deanie, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this, Deanie?
What am I? Oh my god! Not me. This is just Gaia Online, but for men.
Oh no! Oh no! Not Gaia Online for men.
Oh, it lit. As you see the logo, and it's just like a knight with a big ass sword where his dick should be. You know exactly what this is. You know exactly what this is. More let us have the tablet time sometimes. Good time. Yep.
Yeah, more is great for tablet time.
Indeed, I am S tier second monitor content. Y'all ain't cultured. The question is, are you cultured? Is this truly culture right here?
I
Milky,
don't think
thanks for that follow, Big Preach. Welcome on in.
Let's go.
The follower goal met. I now have 160 followers. Hooray!
Woohoo!
Let's go. Let's go.
We love Big Numby, get biggie.
Indeed. Never in my life did I think I would have 160 of anything. Thanks, Chad. Big
Not
Preach.
even 160 doll hairs?
No. All right, let's see.
Damn.
All right, we're almost done. We gotta see the death of this shit.
Yeah.
All right, we continue with the death of Gaia Online.
The images were leaked, users began to notice that threads that mentioned Schofield or Loya by name were getting quietly removed. And then on the next day, Gaia announced that they were discontinuing its Ask the Admins threads, which were a kind of weekly feedback thread where users could ask the admins about the stuff that was going on. So, in other words, Gaia responded by silencing its users. The official
we love that.
reason
That's a great thing to do.
Was because of a growing volume of admins and the help needed in the threads.
Has never gone wrong
resources,
before.
which was kind of true. You know, it's true in a way, but it neglects to mention why they were getting an increased volume of questions. It neglects to mention Schofield or Loya, because, you know, of course it does.
Yes,
but
yes, take their voices.
Stop users from talking about them, no. Instead, they just gave Schofield the nickname of Voldemort and referred to him that way instead. But yet again, they were silenced in December when Gaia made amendments to its terms of service that literally prevented users from criticizing Gaia or its employees by name or by nickname. And right before that, they added an amendment that stated that they didn't have to tell Gaia users that it was adding amendments to its terms of service. Does that sound...
Why did he do this? Why did he start fighting the people who are supposed to make him money? Did we forget the initial assignment that the fucking forum anime website is supposed to be for degenerates to talk to each other? It turned into fucking the Japanese bubble economy, the game, And now, because people can't buy things, now he wants to silence them and just be like, just don't talk about it.
Right?
Just don't talk about the game or me or the fucking bad economy. God.
Like an incredibly scummy thing to do, by the way. Yeah, that's because it is. Both Gaia's morale and economy were at their absolute worst. As a matter of fact, the economy in particular was getting so awful that this is it. This is finally when Gaia would become a textbook example of an economy that's gone off the rails. In May of 2014, the MIT Press published Virtual Economies Design and Analysis by Vili Ledonvirta and Edward Castronova. And sure enough, the sorry state of Gaia's economy is mentioned. And you know,
dude, economy kids in 2013 were probably having a field day.
Right?
The amount of thesis papers from colleges about this horrible ass game were probably just prevalent.
Oh, especially like kids who were doing this shit for school and had like, you know, grown up with this website.
They're like, I know an example professor of a horrible economy, and then they just dox the fact that they were on Gaia Online, and the professor's like, you were on what now? You were doing what with your free time?
Right.
Drewski, thanks for that hydrate.
Speaking of the sorry state of Gaia's economy, how's it doing in 2014? Ha! Trick question. You and I both know that it was abysmal, but I think the whole textbook thing actually kind of bugged Gaia, or at the very least it made it apparent to them that the site's economic problems wouldn't go away if they just ignored them, which had kind of been their approach to it up until this point. Well, drastic times call for drastic measures, so Gaia was about to do something extreme. They were, get this, about to listen to its users. Oh my god. Imagine that.
Holy
they
shit.
sent out a user feedback survey in July, and the results of this survey have never been publicly released, but seeing as how there was a temporary stop in gold generator sales shortly after the survey
they stopped making the money printers. Let's go.
It's easy to make guesses.
Let's go.
You what makes it even easier to make guesses is that a user-run survey was made just a couple of months later, and its results were publicly revealed. As I'm sure you can easily guess, it was bad news for Gaia. Back in 2007, Gaia's absolute wealthiest users were a very small number of millionaires.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in 2014, of the 490 people who took this survey, 67% had more than $1 billion gold.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about the 1%, right? The reason why the economy is balanced is because only 1% of the world has the most money. Now, when 67% of the world has the most money, that's when you start having iPads that cost like $7 billion right there.
That's when we start seeing the French Revolution.
Facts, dude. It starts to actually cost like trillions of dollars if you want to buy a house.
Right.
That's how bad it gets.
And yet 83% felt that they didn't have enough gold. Almost 100% knew inflation was a problem on Gaia, and they weren't exactly feeling optimistic about Gaia's willingness
Just give it up, we're doomed, I'm sorry.
So, and if you think those numbers are absurd, you haven't even heard anything yet. One Gaia user by the name of Zandy made a thread in which they noted that marketplace sales had been starting to plateau at 300 trillion gold in sales per day.
See, remember when I said that it would cost trillions of dollars for the house? Exactly this. Exactly this. I don't even have an economic degree. It's just kind of the way the world works.
Right?
300 trillion per day in 2014.
Bro.
And maybe it's because Gaia's economy was starting to hit such unheard of extremes that at long last, the staff finally addressed it. Kind of. The Ask the Admins threads were finally brought back under a new name in October of 2014. Now they were called Ask the Staff. And in the very first post, in the very first thread, they explicitly mentioned that they were aware of the inflation issues on Gaia. I mean, Better late than never, right? Well, in this case, maybe not. They ended their paragraph about inflation by saying that they wanted their economy to work in tandem with gold generators, which completely defeats the whole point. And at this point, it was pretty well known that gold generators were eating the economy alive, but no matter how many users knew it, no matter how many admins knew it, Gaia's decision makers just didn't care. You remember how that review earlier called Gaia's new management disconnected? Yeah, that definitely turned out to be the truth. Gaia's decline at this point is all too clear, and 2015 and 16 would end up being comparatively quiet years for Gaia, and I don't doubt that that has a lot to do with the prominent censorship across the site, the poor morale, and, of course, steadily falling traffic. In any case, economic problems persisted. Gaia Cash was introduced into the marketplace in 2015, but it didn't have any long-lasting effect. In fact, many users just saw it as another gold generation method since the seller received gold instead of cash. Furthermore, even though Gaia started limiting the number of gold generators that could be sold, the fact of the matter is that they were still being sold and they weren't being limited enough to do much of anything to fix the damage that they'd already done. Case in point, by 2015, gold generators that could spit out at least 1 trillion gold were pretty normal. Another feedback survey revealed the increasing frustration with the gold generators and inflation, but as Gaia's new general manager at the time stated, if gold generators are no longer sold, it would mean we would have a harder time hitting our daily and monthly goals. With goals not being hit, cuts will need to be made, either in art, features, or updates to the site. With all the ongoing problems Gaia was having at this time, this was no doubt the worst time to be on Gaia, but at long last, after watching Gaia burn itself alive for 4 years, the community was, at long last, given the good news that it had been waiting for. In December of 2016, Schofield and Loya were finally no longer in charge of Gaia. In fact, more importantly, not only were they leaving their positions at Gaia, but this allowed a group of 3 of the site's original creators and artists to take the wheel again, effectively putting Gaia under new old management. And guess what? The new old management, get this, actually cared about the state of the website. In fact, the new old leadership wasted no time in fixing the economy. The last gold generator to have been sold was the gold truffle box in January of 2017.
Look, all they had to do was just stop selling the fucking generators.
Right?
That's all they had to do. None of this selling generators to other people so that they could generate money. None of that stupid shit. No more of this black market to where we literally sell counterfeit to each other. Stop selling it. It's a problem. It literally destroyed the economy. The economy will not fix until that shit goes away.
Right?
Jesus Christ.
In August of the same year, they introduced the site's new currency, Gaia Platinum, which would be exchanged at a rate of 10 million gold per 1 platinum.
What the fuck?
Gaia Platinum, which would be exchanged at a rate...
Okay, so, as much as I meme, this is probably the best way to solve the problem. Obviously, once the old money died, you have to make a new money.
Mm-hmm.
They had to make a...
So the Gaia coin to the Gaia yen.
Because that's what I was thinking about, because I was like, they need to have a way to where they can give the money back to the system for basically nothing, but make them believe that it's for something. So that they can get managed, and they did that. Also, what happened to the economy people? Did they die? Did he kill them?
I have no idea.
God, how did they let this happen? He must have fired them.
Probably.
Jesus.
Of 10 million gold per 1 platinum. For now, at least, the site's economy still seems pretty stable.
Hooray!
Right.
I got distracted by sewing whose economy crashed.
Gaia
Online's economy crashed.
Yeah, this video was the birth, life, death, and memoriam of Gaia Online.
Which still exists.
Basically, counterfeit killed it.
All make Gaia Online accounts.
Or we could not.
Gaia's current Alexa ranking is 4964 in the States and 21976 overall. It's pretty lucky to see more than a few thousands of users on at any given time. Its days of attracting
I'm making an account right now. Oh my god.
Let's go. Gaia's community is a lot smaller now, but it is still there. If you want to watch a good video about what Gaia is looking like these days, just as a
shaking my head,
then I'd highly recommend Billions' video on it. Fun fact, it actually inspired this video. But of course, this isn't all to say that Gaia's problems have all magically been solved and things are all fine and dandy on there now, because frankly, that's not the case. To list off just some of the more well-known problems, for starters, a lack of traffic continues to be a really big problem. And then there's the discontinuation of Flash in 2020.
The psych, I had an account the whole time.
A lot of Gaia's games and features are going to have to be removed, or
I had an account. I think it got yoinked by the system.
How long that's going to take. And then perhaps the most infamous struggle Gaia has had recently were their financial problems toward the end of 2018. They resulted in Gaia needing to yet again ask its users for help, as well as a large
not them e-begging again.
The future of Gaia Online,
100%
whether or not
e-begging,
it has a future at this point, honestly seems pretty unclear. In any case, I hope I was able to answer all your questions about the decline of Gaia Online. Making this video was a really weird trip down memory lane for me, because Gaia used to be my social media platform of choice back in my early and mid-teen years, and I had no idea up until I was working on this video that things got so bad on there, because I left around 2011-ish. In any case, if you still have any more questions, feel more than free to ask in the comments, where hopefully either I or someone else can get to you. And on that note, actually, tell you what, here's a fun little fact that I couldn't find a good spot for in the video. So, one of the main items people will use to track inflation on Gaia is the emo bag. This is done partially because it's in the aforementioned group of items in that Reddit post that tracked Gaia's inflation, and partially because there was a pretty popular quest thread by a user called Moldy Lunchbox who had been saving up for one in 2008. This therefore gives us a really good timeline of the emo bag's price, and that's why it's such a common example for showcasing just how bad inflation on Gaia got. But incidentally, that user who started the thread, Moldy Lunchbox, she would soon be known to the internet as Boxy, and I don't doubt that there's a lot of you who are too young to remember her, but suffice to say, she was, quite a meme back in the day, and many of her earliest videos actually mention Gaia.
But, a lot of people don't know me as Moldy Lunchbox, and so yeah, that's my Gaia username on Gaia Online.
So Boxy's not just an iconic meme from yesteryear, but it's thanks to her that we can track inflation for the emo bags so much more effectively than we can other items.
What a go!
Small world we live in, huh? Thank you. And
oh my god!
So chat, video. To answer the question of how many people are using Gaia Online as we speak, it is, drumroll please, 2,619.
Goddamn, but that was such a video. Shout out to the Red Bard for making this video. Go give him if you like the video, go check him out, give him a like and a subscribe.
They have some excellent video essay content.
Indeed.